Hey everybody, Gormanator here, Paul Gorman out here in beautiful Vista Vallarta in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. You want to come out here, let me know, paul@gormangolf.com. Got some schools happening, love to have you. The sweep release, you've heard me talk about it. It's out of the Golfing Machine book where everything is defined. All different grip types are defined and explained in what type of hinging or non-hinging actions they should have. You'd be amazed at the information that makes total sense when you just are directed in the right areas, looking at the right things, you know. The sweep release, Stricker, Tiger, you know, here it is. The sweepy release just means that there's nothing held, no lagging held, no angles held, no cocking of the elbow and keep it cocked coming down, no cocking of the wrists and keeping it cocked, lagging, coming down. When you started, you might have had some bends in your arm like a Ben Hogan, or maybe less than that, like a Stricker who has straight arm down with shaft, and the other arm not too flexed either, but underneath the right. Now, as you take this move away, the way the backswing works is you just use a little bit of that pivot. I'm sure you've heard me in some of my other videos, but I'm getting some comments, it's like I don't quite understand how it works and such. The other videos, I put that water bottle over here, and it would be like, I can see this ball, it's in between my feet and where a ball would be if I'm hitting that way, facing you perpendicular to the camera. So I can see this ball here, I take it over that ball going back, which is not out in front of me like this, so I'm not out here. I just simply pivot the body, let the right elbow retract, as you've heard me say, and I get a little bit of wrist cocking towards the end of the backswing. And then just like Tiger and Stricker, as you come down, you start undoing everything simultaneously, rhythmically, slowly through. You don't hold something and then have to fire it late. You're holding this lag here, you better have excellent hands and wrist to get all that angle out of there, like Mac O'Grady. I mean, just a genius. He wasn't a sweep releaser, I'll tell you that, okay? So much easier for you guys, you amateurs out there that aren't getting out to the range and practicing and trying a bunch of things, but just make sense of it. Look, you know, when we start, our hands are, you know, slightly bent maybe. And then as you start to load the swing back, the right elbow folds some. The wrists look like they're cocking, but right here, I don't feel like I've cocked at all, but I can see the left arm to shaft. There's some angle there. It's definitely not like this. So just a slight lifting of this handle is creating some sort of loading action, right? So back to just paying attention to what makes sense. Okay, so whatever I put in the backswing, I've got to get out by impact. It's got to be on the way out from the top of the downswing. You got it? So here I am, I start winding up. Things are loading simultaneously, little elbow, little wrist, little pivot. I get to the top here like this, just like Stricker. I start to see the right elbow start to unfold, the forearm start to drop to my side, the club is uncocking in the hands, and the pivot is now going the other direction. All three of those things are just reversing engines. So it's like here and there. Load it, unload it, load it, unload it. Don't load the elbow and then hold and pivot and get in no man's land. You're going to be overplaying, stuck, and horrendous results, guaranteed. So, sweep release. You know, people call it casting. Well, you see Scheffler make these wild looking practice strokes, right? I think he came back this week for the first time in 2 or 3 months playing at the Hero Tigers tournament, and he was in the lead yesterday, and I was just going, Jesus, I mean, come on, guys. Watch him and see what he's doing. You don't just win 7 tournaments on tour, you know, and not have some stuff down that repeats. And that's what we're doing. You might have a fancy footwork, but all that stuff too, he's sliding around in there, but he's keeping his tilts, all kinds of goodies. But that casting idea is what I'm talking about. So elbow folds, right hip back, suitcase just kind of lifts the club up, left arm just glides up my rib cage. I get back to the backswing here. The right elbow starts to undo itself. The club head starts to seek getting back under my hands to the side of me where this ball is here, ready to go hit the ball in front of me. Now that's the hard part, because if this is the ground in front of me right here, we're trying to go hit this ball. So if you're telling me that I'm going to come down and have my club in this position and then sweep it out this way to hit it, it's hard to grab onto. You know, you might need a little help online from me, maybe. Just hit me up at paul@gormangolf.com. And online stuff is really, really good because it takes you away from hitting balls where you get bound up by results, and you can kind of piece it together and do some field drills and understand that, you know, we all know that the club started in front of me where the ball is. Then it went to the side of me. As it went to the side, it also went around. So the club is going away from the ball. It's going into me and it's going up. That amalgam of everything. Well, most of you guys start to get the out first, the down second, and then the release across the golf ball. So you're not coming in with the alignments of like, look, I started gradually going up. So I gradually went up. I am pivoting back, so the club's sweeping in over the water bottle or ball. I have there on that view. Okay, it's gradually going up my chest, up my chest, up my chest. Okay, now what, Gormanator? Well, just start to let the elbow start to softly straighten, and that's going to want to have a direct repercussion of uncocking the club. So let it uncock down the plane, and you'll start to feel this wagon wheel. Spoke, 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 spoke. The yellow wagon wheel. Spoke, 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 spoke. So it just becomes this really nice action where everything kind of wants to literally fall into shape. Okay, I'm going to try to hit this ball after yakking there. 175 7-iron. We'll see how we go. He's a little tired after today. We got this. Well, that was nice. Get there, baby. Okay, got there. So that's a little bit about the sweep release, man. It's in the Golfing Machine book. The little yellow book with all kinds of good stuff in it. Take a look right over here. Here's the description of the sweep release. And it's a simultaneous undoing of all the angles that you put in. The uncocking of the elbow, the uncocking of the wrist, the squaring up gradually of the rolling of the arms, and the pivot working as well. So nothing held, okay? That's hard work, and you have to know how to retime the release of the club when you holding the lag and undoing the lag with a bunch of wrist action, right? You know, at the last moment. Man, that's hard. And usually when you're doing that, your pivot will stall. So we don't want that. We want that motion where you look like, hey man, look at the Gormanator, looks like he's just unwinding. But when he's doing that, the angles are coming out because I got to get back to the shaft underneath the left arm. Number 1 accumulator, the number 4 accumulator, the number 1 lever, I should say. And that's where you start to have that look of just like compression with that flat wrist right here. And then the club starts to swivel and the left wrist breaks and you follow through LT Gray style. So I really think this is something that's going to change your life in golf if you just grasp this. Because a lot of you are out there on the Russian roulette wheel of social media getting tips that might be great, but it's not a full package of like, well, I see those angles, they look really cool. I'm going to go try that at the range. Well, what about the other things? How'd you set up first? And, you know, the way you set up has direct repercussions, of how you're going to come down at impact. And Trevino said, this is really cool. Trevino said that if he absolutely wanted to hook the ball under pressure, I'm going to use the ground up in front here again. Here's the ball ready. Here's the hands ahead, right? So he would start, if he actually wanted to hook the ball, he would overdo the handle forward at address, just like this. And then when he came in, he knew that the hands wouldn't be quite that forward and the club would catch up and the face would close. Hands forward with the club facing the target, right? Impact, the hand is not quite so forward and the face left of the target. Capiche? The other one, the fade. He said, I would start that ball. He said, I would start that ball with the handle, even with the hands, knowing that when I came to impact, I'd be ahead and that face would be open. So we start here like this, and he'd come through, and now he'd come in, and that face would be to the right. You can see it's open to the screen here, right, guys? So I mean, one of the best ball strikers ever, telling you those things. Have you ever heard of that before? Have you ever heard of anyone say, as good a player as he is, that, hey, under pressure, I want to hook that ball away from that water. I start my hands forward. I know that they're not going to be that forward when I hit in the face. Will be closed. Guys, I got water on the left. I don't want to hook it. I want to fade this thing. Absolutely. I'm going to play that ball handle a little back of my golf ball or club head. Then when I come through, I'm going to come forward like I normally Lee Trevino style do. And you can see that club face open. Apply pressure on that shaft there, and there it is open. So get that to some thoughts, guys, and let me know how it goes for you. And like I said, man, you want to hop on a Zoom, get in there, and kind of rally it around together so that you can really build something that's repeatable. That's the end of the story right there. You've got to repeat and own what you do, okay? Me, I'm a hunter and gatherer. I'm like Shafley. I swing slow back. I don't look like I try hard. I wind it up smooth like this, but at the bottom, I've got some energy going on. I transfer that energy nicely into the club head. Don't know how I did. Probably from all the baseball I played. Wait, because every pitch that comes in is a strike. So you're uncoiling, you're unwinding, and that fastball is coming in, right? You're looking at that pitcher, and that fastball's you're stepping straight in, and if it's the ball, you got to shut it down. But you got to pretend you're hitting a home run with every freaking swing. So it's the same thing with the golf. It's like, well, I'm not hitting the ball in my backswing. I don't need to create speed there. I just get this thing going back with my assembly of my arms the way I've shown you guys, the sweep action. And then I start coming down, and the transfer comes from halfway down to the ball and beyond. Start pouring on some speed. Okay, well, I enjoy making these. Hope you guys like them. I'll keep making them because I enjoy doing it. And if you can learn something out of there, you need to watch whole videos when I do them, because I ramp around and come back and do really good things at various times in the videos. It's not so sequenced. It is to make a point, but there are little nuggets in there throughout the video. So I suggest you watch it all. It's a couple, 10, 12 minutes maybe here and there. It's a lot of time these days. I get it, but I appreciate it. And I think you'll gain from it too. All right. See you guys out in PV here, or maybe online, okay? Paul at GormanGolf.com, at GormanGolf.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing difficulties with your golf game? Did you know there are 3 major league systems that are used on the tour today, where the real-time adjustments are made by the tour players so that they can shoot better scores under the extreme conditions, and so can you. So just click the link down below. It'll take you to a free quiz. We'll determine which system is better for you so that you can hit your goals and drastically improve your game, just like a tour player. All right, we'll see you on the other side.